Akagi Hina, An Eclipsing Bond, Part 4. The head commander of the most elite army of crusaders rendered her squad powerless and destroyed all the Legion minus her brother. In the vast throne room, among the unconscious troops and the dead beasts, a heavily injured girl teetered, smiling. "You're the only one I couldn't..." In order to stop her frenzied leader, the injured, silver-haired girl lunged at the commander with wild swings of her blade. Clashing sounds of metal on metal rang out until... One last desperate strike from the silver-haired girl drove its way home into her commander's chest. Blood dripped out. "Why didn't you evade?" The silver-haired girl's entire body quaked and shivered as she held the sword. The girl commander, with blade sunken in chest, glided closer to the silver-haired girl. "Don't worry," she said. "I won't kill you." The gentle voice would comfort a puppy dog. The sword sunk deeper and deeper into the leader's chest, up to the hilt. The blade that stuck out her back was red with blood. They were face to face, and the commander looked into the silver-haired girl's teary eyes. She wrapped her hands around the tender throat of her partner. The leader gave a little smile, and soft words floated from her mouth. "Don't get in my way again." As if the commander were wearing a death mask, the rictus smile was frozen on her face. The silver-haired girl was overcome with dread, her legs quivering and wet until she collapsed. She lay there with mouth twisted open, unmoving. The final clash in the fortress ended. In order to survive the silver-haired girl's attack, the commander moved ever so slightly so the blade would miss her vital organs. Paying no mind to the sword in her chest, she approached the struck-down Lord Aberration. Her brother was a pitiful sight. His left arm was off, and his breaths were faint. He looked as if he was sleeping. As she gazed at his dear face, she began to pull the blade from herself. As the steel grazed her heart, she thrilled at being so close to death. When she finally loosed the blade from her chest, she let out a gasp of delight. As her body convulsed with pleasure, she collapsed onto her brother. Perhaps due to the loss of blood, her eyes grew dark. In this hateful world where brother and sister had spent so much time apart, here their heartbeats folded into one another, and the two knew the other was there. The girl's face relaxed as her life drained away. In a land of light, as pure white as a snow-covered landscape. Someone's memory comes to me in the light. There are two that look like me and my brother. They wear school uniforms and hope for peaceful days. The sister lives a poor life with her father. The brother helps his mother with a heart condition. No matter how they try, they will never find happiness. But if they joined hands... The girl opened heavy eyelids. She breathed through a throat full of blood and looked around her. She was in the place she fell. How much time had passed and why she still lived, she did not know. On feeling her chest, she understood. Covering the hole was a white, tumorous mass. Deep inside her, something was pulsing, giving her life. It was the core of the red eyes, her little brother's heart. In place of her own damaged heart, her brother gave her his. He lay next to her, master of the Legion, motionless. The tears the girl had held back all her life came bursting forth. "Without you, there's no reason to live." The grand throne room trembled with cries of the name of the girl's brother. Breaking the silence, the wireless that lay among the rubble sprang to life. The noise-filled transmission from the organization's base said reinforcements had arrived and destroyed the Legion horde. The commander's vanguard was ordered safely secured and the fortress seized. If the girl remained here, she would be executed as a traitor for betraying the organization. She did not care. But if the body of her brother, the Red Eyes, was captured, the organization was sure to perform vile experiments. The girl took from her uniform the octagonal explosive. Looking at the device she received at the National Weapons Research Facility, she saw a way to escape. It was the researchers' excited talk about the successful experiment. She did not understand the details, but there was the possibility that through this, they could travel to another world. If all other roads led to misery. The girl's and her brother's bodies pressed together, hidden under rubble. It was just like when they were children, lost in the ruined city. The girl waited until the members of her vanguard were evacuated safely out of the fortress. Then she activated the device. The black sphere sprang forth. She considered the hole in the air a gateway. Carrying her brother's body in her arms, she stepped into the lightless portal. They reached the end of the jet-black passage. There, to the world where the white calamity originated. The two landed on a hillside she did not recognize. The girl felt her body and confirmed they had passed through the gateway safely. The organization and the region could not follow them here. She would create a grave for her brother, then take her own life. Those were her thoughts. Sister. She suddenly heard a tiny voice. Her brother lay beside her, and from his mouth came life. Rushing to check on him, she discovered the wound in his chest and his left arm were healing. Of course, the girl was surprised that her brother's aberrant body would hold such power, but moreover she was relieved and gave a contented smile. This time we'll be together, always. The girl turned to the sun that shone on them and made a vow. As long as she lived, she would do everything for her beloved brother. The deep crimson sky stretched out before them, as if to bless the oath. 1 month after the conclusion of the holy war between humanity and the region. In a park under bright blue skies, flags of many countries flew over people in varied uniforms. On this day, there was a ceremony to honor the achievements of the 13th Crusaders' Army. From the lectern, there were speeches given about the long war and its end. The enemy at the Holy City was the final Red Eyes. All that was left of the battleground was a great crater, the corpses of Region, and what was named the White Cocoon. The area was now restricted to entry. That was the history as presented to the public. In truth, the siblings turned their back on humanity for their own purposes. Their treason was struck from the histories by the organization. The ceremony concluded with the victorious head commander of the Crusaders invited onto the stage. Showered in everyone's applause, a girl stood alone. White birds took flight and ascended into the sky as a clear breeze caressed the beautiful silver hair of the girl. The girl's name carved into history as humanity's savior was